Greetings and salutations, Second Star right, back with more Rage Shadow Legends, and on tap today, I thought we'd talk about the Lordly Legionary. Yes, there are a million guides on this guy already, and I don't necessarily like to repeat content too much, but because I kind of enjoy using this champion, I thought I'd just throw my 2 cents in here and say, hey, it's your free 150-day login. Is it any good? I don't know. If you've gotten through 150 days of the eccentricities and idiosyncrasies of Rage Shadow Legends without losing your mind, I think it's only worth getting a halfway decent champion for your troubles. And I think Lordly Legionary fits that bill. A lot of people aren't huge fans of him, but I like him. I think he's constructed very nicely, and obviously, if you look at his kit, it's going to be Fire Knight. We'll go over it in a second. But I like the fact that it does extra things. My favorite champions are all the ones that do something extra. If you just meet a certain threshold, a certain requirement, you can do more stuff. Like Whisper is my favorite champion in the game, most likely. And with a defense down in a weekend on a target, she takes an extra turn. I think that's awesome, right? And then she has a passive that makes her go again with a certain % chance. She's constantly doing more things than she's theoretically supposed to do. Put her in a relentless set, she's crazy. It's awesome watching her go nuts all over the screen. So Lordly Legionary isn't quite up to that standard, of course, but Press the Fight is a very interesting A1. Okay, attacks an enemy twice, places an extra hit if the target is under a 50% heal reduction debuff, and 2 extra hits if the target is under a 100% heal reduction debuff. Okay, so Whisper is a little bit hard to get to work in that regard because not a lot of champions have, both a weaken and a defense down. I mean, they don't need to be on the same champion, but it's of course much easier, right? We have Venus and Dracomorph that do that with an AoE. We have Rosin Scarhide and Spider that do it, single target. Actually, I think Spider does it. Spider does it on an AoE also, but it's a little out of sync. That it's weird the way that Spider's set up, but still, it's possible, right? Rosin does the single target one, so you can target Rosin's target. Whatever. There are things you can do to make Whisper work really well, but it's not easy without Dracomorph or Venus, right? They're the ones that really make it work the easiest, right? This one, all you need is a heal reduction debuff, right? There are a million champions out there that have heal reduction debuffs, and there's a lot of really good ones, right? But a lot of times what might feel like a wasted skill, because a lot of opponent waves, whatever, they don't heal, so it doesn't feel like it's anything that you really need. But with Lordly Legionary, you can use that as an extra hit. It's kind of cool. I like the way that works. It feels like it gives value to other champions on your team that maybe you don't think they have value outside of the Spirit Keep, right? Where if you don't have heal down, you're never going to finish, right? So while yes, he is complementary in the spirit dungeon, he can work anywhere. You want to have a really good champion that has heal down as one of their skills. You can throw Lordly Legionary in there too, and they complement each other. It's cool. It's a nice synergy. Moving on to the Outflank, we'll see that they attack an enemy. 75% chance of placing a 30% decreased speed debuff for 2 turns, and decreases the target's turn meter by 20% if the decreased speed debuff is placed. So one has to happen for the second one to happen, so accuracy does factor in here, right? So you can't just gear for damage. You have to think about accuracy a little bit, because you definitely want that to land. It's on a 4-turn cooldown. They can get down to 3 turns, but it takes 6 books to get there, which kind of stinks. But that is offset by the A3, which is actually kind of cool. First, I just want to look at that. You can get it down to 4 turns with just 1 book. So that's cool, right? A 30% reflect damage buff and a 15% continuous heal buff on all allies for 2 turns. I still would have preferred it as on a 3-turn cooldown, but beggars can't be choosers, and 4 turns is probably what we can expect with this level of champion. And only having to put in 1 book to get down there, that's not bad at all. It's actually, you don't think about reflect damage being super effective, but if you watch the Fire Knight fight that I'm about to get into, you can see that it does serve its purpose. Okay, I did Masteries. This guy up to tier 5. I didn't get everything, but when I 6-star him, I'll finish that. Artifacts, I have some broken sets in here. I just, enough to get his crit damage up a little bit. These have nice substats. Like this chest has a 3 hit on speed, so speed's 19 on the chest, which is why I haven't leveled these boots much, because I don't want him to, outrun my debuffers. And then, of course, nice crit damage on the gloves here, which is why that's a broken set. If you had really good substats on other retaliation gear, you can put him in retaliation gear, and if he retaliates against someone with a heal damage down, then he will hit them 3 or 4 times instead of the standard 2 times. So that's something to keep in mind also. All right, so let's just look at his stats. Okay, 27.5 on the hit points. That's probably about as low as you want to go because he's a little bit squishy. Attacks 2,000. Got his defense up to 1,300 for survivability. Speed 151, which works with my team. 62% crit. Really, could do with that being higher, but this does work okay. Crit damage 191, 64 resistance, and 122 accuracy. You definitely want to try to land those A2s, right? All right, so let's take a peek. Actually, let's look at his kit. He's a pretty cool design too. He's kind of just kind of thrown himself together. Beric Dondarrion here with his flaming sword. And when you're a kid, I don't know if you've done this, or you've probably known some kids. They're trying to learn how to do butterfly knives, and you see that they have band-aids all over their fingers because they keep cutting themselves. Well, it looks like learning to use his flaming broadsword here. He ran into some similar issues because he's a bit scarred up, and I don't even want to know what's under this arm. Is that all gauze, right? And maybe to get that changed, get that looked at. Anyway, pretty cool design for the Lordly Legionary. He looks very like he's been living under a bridge for a little while. Anyway, I kind of dig it. Not gonna lie. All right, so let's pop in to Fire Knight, and let's watch Ray here. So the first thing the Lord Legionary is going to do is he's going to put up his reflect damage and his continuous heal. Ray is going to not be into that when she gets a turn, right? But watch her health bar. Boom. The reflect damage does a pretty good number on her. Not going to lie. Reflect damage is actually pretty impressive against against AoE champions in the waves. Okay, and so we have a Tyrell lead. This is Fine, it's 15. I usually do 13s as the introduction to using level 50 champions, but with his affinity, I thought 15 might as well push it and go to 15. He's on a pretty good team with Tyrell leading. We got Coldheart in there. Coldheart, of course, also has a 4-hit A1 that puts on 100% heal reduction, which is insane. Synergizes so well with Lordly Legionary. We also have Skull Crusher in there too, so there he just put up his 50% heal down. So he's going to be, most of the time, have a target somewhere they can get at least 3 hits on, if not 4, right? Good old Apothecary putting down the heals and the speed, and Tyrell leading. So definitely a solid Fire Knight team all around. So we're going to see both the 4 hitters from Coldheart and the reflect damage from Lordly Legionary is going to work really well against those shields once we get to the boss. Okay, looks like we got heal downs almost everywhere. Lordly Legionary definitely has a target-rich environment from which to choose. Let's see, who's he going to pick? Well, he goes to reflect damage and heal everybody, so he's being thoughtful of everyone. Well, that was nice of him. Something that surprised me, and we'll see it when we get to... Oh, look at that. Reflect damage is up again. Nice way to injure someone, Lordly Legionary, without actually doing anything. We'll see at the end that Lordly Legionary actually has some really good heal numbers throughout this. I was a bit surprised to see how well he performed in that regard. And now here we are with the boss, and of course this is going to take a while because the AI here is just not good, right? Yeah, why are you using Art of Pain, Coldheart? You have a 4-hit A1. Why would you do that? His shield's up. You're not going to do anything. Oh, so frustrating, right? It's like you remember the story about the nematodes where that learned to go through a maze, right? I don't know that these guys could ever get through the maze when presented with it. I just don't think that's within their skill set. It almost feels like when you're autoing a fight and it's dependent on certain mechanics to work, it's just pure luck that you ever get through it. You just kind of build them with enough survivability to eventually get through, on accident, right? It's crazy. All right, work. It's Saturday, guys. It's 9 o'clock. We don't need to be working. Okay, I'm on call. It's my fault. Okay, so let's see. You want to skip to the end? Let's skip to the end. Let's see if he gets here's a 3-hitter. And so you see his damage levels, they're kind of low, right? You see a lot of people at this level hitting a lot harder. You have to think that he's hitting multiple times, so it does add up. So I think ideally, when he has like a defense down or an attack up, and he's hitting the boss, let's say this one here with his shield down, it's between 12 and 14,000 ideally, right? If he's getting all crits, it's not a lot, right, at this level. So just temper your expectations. He doesn't necessarily do a whole lot of damage, but he's fun to watch, right? The animation's great. 3 and 4 hit attacks are fun to watch, especially 4 hitters when you can build the team synergy to make that work. It's great. So let's shut this off and let's look at the end result. Okay, Tyrell, these are all level 60s, so they're definitely going to outperform him. 316, 412, 175, and 83. But look at the heal numbers, 256. That's much more than I expected. I kind of thought of him more I thought of him as an attack champion rather than a healing champion, but he seems to really carry his weight there. And that is a little bit from Masteries. He has the heal 10% first time enemies killed in a round. He has some little stuff like that, but he's not in lifesteal, right? Cold Heart is in lifesteal, so he's actually putting up some pretty solid numbers, which is something I didn't expect from the champion. Okay, now we did take him into Dragons also. Let's see. Here's the end result of Dragons. This was just Dragons 13. He's in with Berdal leading, so that was an attack lead rather than a defensive lead like we have with Tyrell. Berdal did 153. He came in with 137, but again, solid healing numbers from our Lordly Legionary friend, right? Skull Crusher's in there, Cold Heart, Gorgorab, keeping people alive. Gorgorab was the real heal champion and kept people up when they died. I don't think anyone died on this run, but it's a pretty common team composition for pushing dungeon content. So he did okay. It's more that he's just fun to use, right? The feeling that this debuff the heal reduction debuff that doesn't seem to get a whole lot of use in dungeons is now suddenly given a purpose. I don't know. It feels kind of fulfilling. All right, so what I'm going to do now is something I don't usually do, and I haven't done before, but a commenter suggested that it would be helpful to see how a champion performs at 50 and then how they transition to 60. So it takes like 2 hours for my render to just glue 2 pieces of film together, but it seems like I'm going to do that. I'm going to take this guy to 60, and then we will see how he performs at 60 versus how he performed at 50, just so people who are wondering, do I want to 6-star this guy? What does it look like from level 50 to level 60, from 5 stars to 6 stars? So let's do that. All right, and time has elapsed. Time has passed. I have gotten my Lordly Legionary here up to level 60 and fully ascended him. For Masteries, I selected Giant Slayer over War Master. There is some debate over which one's better. War Master has potential to proc twice. It will proc for the extra hit. This one can potentially proc 4 times, so I kind of leaned in this direction. So that's why I chose Giant Slayer. But I think it'll all kind of come out in the wash throughout the course of a fight, and it'll all kind of be the same no matter which one you choose. I just went for the increased damage potential just because it's fun to have a whole bunch of multiple hits. I also went down to Sniper to have the extra 5% chance to land that debuff off the A2, because you definitely want to decrease the speed so you can decrease the turn meter, since they're interlocked like that. Okay, and as far as artifacts go, I did make a few changes. He now, of course, has hit point banner. Squishy, gotta keep him alive. Though I was able to swap out then his hit point ring with an attack ring. So I balanced him out a little bit more effectively, I think. He was hitting a little bit light, I thought. At 50, he wasn't doing a whole lot of damage. So this bumps him up a little bit. We'll look at his total stats here. Now he is at 43.3 as far as hit points go. His attack is 31.35, defense 16.60, 155 speed, 64% crit, 201% crit damage now, 64 resistance, and 122 accuracy. That has not changed, but it's pretty much what we need at this point. Okay, so knowing what we know now, let us go into the Fire Knight, and I can push content a little bit more now going into Fire Knight's 18. Okay, so the waves are going to be, kind of what we're used to, but he does pump out a little bit more satisfactory numbers now. Granted, he is affinity reverse on this level, and I did that for a reason. I wanted to maximize his ability as much as I could to make him impressive for a video, right? All right, Cold Heart's laying down some heal debuffs. Let's see if he can take advantage of that. All right, he landed his A2 and debuff on the Cage Breaker. Is that who that is over there? I don't even know who that is. All right, Nullhorn's taking some punishment. All right, Nethral's almost down. He was stunned for a lot of this fight, which is nice. All right, taken out by Lordly Legionary. I had to help him through with targeting, since I hate it when they target the unkillable person, so I made it so that they didn't do that and waste some time. I've seen him waste, 2 rounds of cooldowns just trying to take out one guy who's unkillable. It's kind of irritating. Alright, Lordly Legionary almost got him, but then had 2 weak hits, non-crits at the end to fail. Poor guy. Alright, Art of Pain. There's no heal downs yet. Vrask's kind of doing their thing. It got a little choppy. I made some graphical settings so this wouldn't happen, and it works sometimes, but then sometimes it just doesn't work. And when I look at Task Manager, it's mostly Wi-Fi that's spiking. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm having a bad connection right now. I don't know. I don't know when it talks to the server or what to send data back and forth, but occasionally it just gets all chunky and gross. Come on, guys. Oh, this wave takes so long. Hang on. Hey, Chloe. Mm-hmm. I'm almost done with the video, and afterwards I'll watch My Hero Academia with you, okay?
Okay.
All right. Daughter's waiting for me. Okay. Go on, guys. If Vrask would just stop healing, this would go over much faster. Alright, okay, so Lordly Legionary took him out. That's good. We're going to work on some Nethril a bit, I guess. Okay, now we're going to switch targets. Go to Vrask. Okay, that's fine. You want to do that? I don't mind. But why did he... Lordly Legionary targeted a guy that wasn't... didn't have the heal down. That seemed like a wasted effort there. Missed opportunity for our friend LL. Speaking of LL, have you seen Loki Magic's video on Lordly Legionary? You definitely should. His production value is, I think, it's untouchable. His videos are so awesome to look at. I definitely recommend. Once you get through this one, if you haven't seen Loki Magic's Lordly Legionary video, where he has enough LL Cool J references to choke a cat, I highly recommend it. It's a lot of fun. All right, Vrask, go down. Come on, man. What is this? You're not getting paid by the hour. Okay. Alright, now onto the boss where we will struggle for a while. As ever. Alright, hopefully they'll get their act together soon. Alright, so if he hits now, the reflect damage is up, so we should be able to get down. That was weird. Okay, there you go. 3, 1. Alright, let's go. There we go. Now he's open for business. and actually, Lordly Legionary, his next hit here, he's actually going to get all 4 hits and all 4 Giant Slayers going to proc. Not this one, the next one. Come on, when's your turn? All right, here we go. Here we go. He lands all hits, all crits, and he actually procs Giant Slayer 4 times. So that was like a 42,000 A1. So of course it's not going to happen all the time. All the stars have to align for that to happen. And there he missed 1 Giant Slayer there, but that was 7 hits instead of 8. But still, he's really pulling his weight in this fight with Cold Heart putting the heals down and him getting the extra hits because of it, and then proccing Giant Slayer. He's really doing some heavy lifting in this match. I will just skip to the end. You don't need to see all this. I just wanted to show you that one part. Okay, so here's the end where Tyrell did 522. He did 617, so 617,000 points of damage, and he did 437 heals. So he's definitely pulling his weight in Fire Knight. Of course, there will be problems once we hit level 20 because then he's the opposite affinity for level 20. So he's going to need a lot of support to get through that. It'll be a lot tougher, but he definitely has the skill set to make it viable. But just make sure that he's paired with someone that can bring a nice heal down, right? Kind of otherwise, you're never going to get the maximum out of this guy unless you have the heal down on there. But that's like Whisper. Whisper is one of the strongest champions in the game if you have the weakening the defense down and some relentless gear. So they're just champions that are like that. They need some support, but when they get that support, they outperform kind of their tier slot, I think. So while Lordly Legionary, he's not great on his own. When paired in a nice team, and I've put him on teams with Cold Heart, Fellhammer, Skull Crusher, so he has multiple opportunities to hit it, and he performs very well. So this is pretty much a straightforward trying to progress Fire Knight match, but there's a lot of times if you're just having fun farming, you can make really interesting team comps with a lot of heal downs and have Lordly Legionary absolutely go ham, total hot animal machine all over the place, and it's awesome. So hopefully you enjoyed this. This is the first time I've incorporated a transition from 50 to 60 to see the differences, and I hope that it was evident for you. As a bonus, did I set it the dragon ones? I don't remember if I did or not. Dragon's Lair 16, yeah, I did. So I also did Dragon 16 using a crit damage lead in Longbeard. And again, this was a void level, so it's all even, no affinity shenanigans in. So you see that he still did okay. Of course, he's no Cold Heart, right? And Tyrell did a little bit more damage to him because, of course, he has the the AOE ability that Lordly Legionary doesn't have. But still, he also did some healing. He brings some more utility to a fight. He does a good job. I think Lordly Legionary is a lot of fun. He might not be great, but he's an interesting champion to use and can open up some potential for your heal down champions to have a little bit more utility if you throw him in the mix. All right, so if you enjoyed, please throw me a like. Comment down below what you think, what you use Lordly Legionary for, if you are like on day 149, if you're looking forward to getting him on your 150th day login, whatever. We'll just jam. Comment down below. Subscribe if you want to see more. I would certainly appreciate it. But I am now going to go watch anime with my daughter. All right, guys. You guys have fun. Enjoy. And I will see you next time.